Hey, everybody, and welcome to RezoCast episode 150. That means we've been doing this for, counting weeks we've missed, we've been doing this for over 3 years, right? Does that math add up?
That's pretty close. I think, yeah.
Yeah, because, we've probably missed, like, a lot of weeks. But anyway, welcome, everybody. I'm Hove. I'm joined this week by Wilson, 309, who we can't see, and depending on how long you've been listening, if you're rather new, you may not know him, but we have the man, the myth, the legend, Triton, please. Hello, Triton.
Hello, Hove. And Wilson. I didn't have to think about the 309, though. Pretty much knew it was the 309. But yeah, glad to be back.
The Alpha Agent.
Episode 150. I actually had to look that up, too.
Why did you have to look it up? I just told you.
Well, I know that, but when I was saving my file for the recording, I had to figure out.
You already saved your file? You're not going to wait?
Well, I saved it ahead of time, and I thought because the last episode wasn't labeled that this was actually 149. It wasn't labeled 149.
You preloaded your podcast audio for saving? Nice.
Yeah, like saved the project.
He actually just talked for like an hour, and we're gonna have Lego just try to piece it into the conversation later.
That would be funny
Welcome
to do.
back for Lego.
Yeah.
That would be funny to do on like April Fools, like upload the wrong thing and see if Lego catches that.
Yeah, just a bunch of like shit talking about Lego. Like we all have a real one, but we also all just upload a bunch of Also, he's gonna hear all this now. Damn it.
No, it's okay. We don't have to do it for April Fool's Day, but I'm just saying it'd be funny to like hang out one night and just have a stupid conversation and record it.
I try to hang out with you guys every night. Nobody ever wants to hang out with me.
So
anyway, before we get too deep into this, we are a Destiny focused but multi-game gaming podcast. For anyone who doesn't know, we like to put that out there now. And even if we don't, I do. So yeah, we talk a lot of Destiny, we talk a lot of nonsense, we talk a lot of other games. We will also be playing a game called Conversation Penetration, or Word Insertion, where I have given everybody 3 words and or phrases that they must work into the conversation. They have given me 3 as well. You guys enjoy that? What do you think? Do you guys like it?
Yeah.
Is that a question for us?
No, I'm talking to the people that can't answer me.
Well, they're down. I'm gonna answer for them.
Yeah.
I was talking to you guys.
Okay.
Also, I do want to say, I want to start off. We also, over the last few months, have started a Discord server for any friends and listeners. If you check our Twitter, which is @RezoCast, I believe it's on there. Lego usually posts it on the YouTube links, on the tweets about the episode. So join that. We have a lot of fun in there. We do a bunch of crazy stuff. And finally, there was one more thing, Wilson. What else did I want to say at the beginning? Oh,
we would like to thank our sponsor, Blue Microphones, for these amazing headphones and microphones. If you're looking into getting into gaming, or you just like hanging out with people online,
or want to start a podcast,
or you want to start a podcast and you don't want to sound like crap like I do right now because I'm sick, get yourself some Blue mics and headphones. It helps a little bit, cuts back the sickness. I know I have a beautiful voice like Tina Turner.
I'm
right
down
now,
with.
But
ooh.
Yeah.
But you're not a fucking delinquent like Triton. Another nice thing, not right this second because they are in the process of switching over their web store, but on a normal basis, we'll let you know when it's back up. You can also go to bluemic.com and enter code RezoCast for how much, Wilson? What discount will our lovely friends get?
I believe that's a hot 20.
20% off of your purchase.
20 twin.
That's like twice 10%. 4 times 5%.
Dude.
It's like a lot. It's 20 times bigger discount than if they gave us 1%. Boom.
That's true. It's also 20 times more the discount they'd get than if you didn't enter the code. So
yeah.
Technically no, because 20 times 0 is still 0.
Man, I suck at math. Can we move on, please?
So anyway, Wilson and I both can be hacking up lungs and coughing and sniffling and everything else.
Wait, coincidence that we're both sick? Okay, here
is it mono?
Guys,
do you have mono?
No, I'm just gonna throw this out there because people are gonna like conversate and assume anyway.
Yes, we were making out.
Hove definitely got me sick. All right, he was the patient zero of this particular ailment. And yeah, so before you speculate and conspire, just know that it's true. It's true.
And on that note, how was your week?
It's been pretty bad as far as being sick. We've had some big pours at work, big basements. I've had to push through it, deal with some no call, no show people, had to pick up the slack even though I was sick. But I was away at my parents' place for 2 weeks, house sitting their place while they took a much needed vacation. So I got to be the master of my old domain for about almost 2 weeks now, which, like, when you put it that way, it like sounds really cool, but it was actually incredibly fucking boring. And walking around the house and seeing like old pictures and like cruising through the neighborhood and like seeing old houses and like old memories come up, I'm just like, dude, I'm fucking old, man. This kind of sucks. And
we are old.
I was out there by myself, so like, you know, you're alone with your thoughts, you know what I mean? I'm like walking around the house looking at all these old pictures and shit. So it was bittersweet, you know what I mean? Like, it was cool to be the master of my own domain, but I was there by myself. And if it wasn't for Destiny 2 on PC, I would have went fucking crazy.
This is like the senior circuit of RezoCast. Like, all three of us are very close to the same age, whereas Lego and Mana are a good bit younger than all of us. So you guys,
for sure.
Yeah, you guys have like the old. How old are you, Triton?
34.
Yeah, me too.
We're practically boomers. I mean, let's be real.
Would you rather be a boomer or a millennial? Because they both get pretty bad raps.
Yeah, I mean, like, what generation doesn't at this point? You know, it's always the previous generation looking down on the current generation. Oh, these kids these days. I've caught myself saying that, dude. Like, these fucking kids these days.
I mean, sometimes it's true.
Yeah.
You know, really I'm not going to say it about an entire generation and their effect on the world, but there's definitely some fucked up douchebag kids.
Yeah, man, I was one of them.
Like this, like.
Yeah, like recently. This was like a week ago. No.
In very important news, has anyone seen Popeye's new ad?
Yeah, you have to bring your own bun for the chicken sandwich.
Yeah, and then they go on to clarify. Also, it's just 3 tenders. So what they're really saying is, we're still out of chicken sandwiches, but we'll give you chicken tenders, and if you have a bun, it's kind of like a sandwich.
How the fuck you run out of chicken, dog? I'm pretty sure, aren't we like growing that on trees by now or something? Like,
I know. I don't know,
super
man.
insensitive. I apologize.
I mean, the chickens forgive you.
Oh.
Yes.
How about you, Triton? How's things been with you since you haven't been here since, like, I don't know, sometime at BC?
Okay, I actually was thinking about how long it's been. I feel like it was April.
It was
or
April.
May, right?
Because
okay,
you
so
told us
April.
that your hiatus started in May, and then like 4 weeks in a row before your hiatus, you didn't come. And then you were like,
okay.
"Oh, hey guys,
Definitely
my hiatus
wasn't the case."
Then
that was not the case.
Oh, it definitely was the case because me and Lego
No.
were really confused, and you didn't come. And then you were like, "Hey guys, just so you know, my hiatus starts next week." And we were like, "Well, what is this?"
Wait, no, I don't think that's it. I can agree that I thought I was gonna be back more in the mid last month. I would agree to that. I thought I'd be back more in the middle of August, but I don't know. I felt like May was about when I came. I mean, April, as you know, it's a pretty busy. You know, March, April, May, decently busy for basketball, so it's a possibility I could have missed 2 out of 4 or something like that. But regardless, in the last couple of months, I moved. So I had to move, which was so I ended up living with my in-laws for a month, which was fine. While my
Closer
house
or
was being built.
further to me?
Further.
Well,
Probably
fuck
like
you.
Yeah.
further for
Smart
you.
choice. Smart
And
choice.
then, so I live.
Was that one of the like selling points to the wife? Like,
like
look, I really like
farther
this
than
place.
Is it like
and it's further.
marginally further, or like does it make
No,
a difference?
marginally further. Like another, like really, it's like over the hill. So I mean, probably like 10 minutes away from where I used to live.
So you're still gonna meet me for Super Burgers once a year?
First of all, it's way more than once a year. Also, I think the last time I extended the, you were the one to decline. So.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yo,
I
you
can't
turned
beat your
down
every
a
beck and call.
That's where we're at right now, Ho.
You turned down a super burger, Hove? What the
He
hell?
did.
I was hanging out with Jeff Bridges, man.
I can't even get I can't even get a regular like good burger or
Bro,
on a super
right now,
burger.
Eaton
You
Park
can't get
is
it.
serving Cheesecake Factory pumpkin cheesecake, and I had a slice today. And yeah,
Dude,
Really?
I
Yeah.
want Eaton Park so bad, dude. I had
What?
the worst steak and shake experience the other day.
They closed the one by us.
They closed a bunch by
They
us,
closed the
and
one by me too.
They tried to say it was due to renovations, and I heard it was like, and it wasn't just in Illinois, that they were like refusing to pay people for overtime. And it's like, fuck you, pay the people for overtime, man. Like, but I had a horrible experience at Steak and Shake, and I'm kind of bummed about it.
Every time I ever go there, it's a horrible experience because it's the
yeah.
worst.
I've also had a bad experience.
I mean, like, I have, but it's been at like 3, 4 in the morning when I'm too drunk to give a shit. But like, this was like
that's even worse though. If it's 3, 4 in the morning and you're fucked up and you still know it was a bad experience, it was bad.
Yeah.
No, I mean just like I mean let's think about it here. It's 3, 4 in the morning. There was probably like a series of bad experiences that led up to this bad experience that made it a little bit less of a bad experience, in my opinion. But yeah, I want to eat in Park. We don't have any cool places to eat around here, dude. We just got a bunch of fucking like bullshit chain restaurants.
I mean, it is a chain, but it's like it's a regional chain.
Fire.
It's
exactly.
I was just talking. I took my dad there today for dinner after I got off of work. And we go there. It's it's good for old people, but it's like a nicer, like Denny's.
Yes.
But like, so you're not gonna go there and order like a steak or like anything like nice. But for what they do have, their food's fucking really good.
And affordable, and they have a huge menu. I mean, they really it's like 4 or 5 stuff. Plus, it is like the bakery too. So like I don't remember if Denny's was a bakery, but I mean they do have like homemade pies, cookies, all kinds of stuff. So.
Pies, all kinds of pies and shit. Yeah.
You guys ever eat at Perkins?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not bad.
Kind of like that.
Denny's. Yeah. I miss Denny's, man. What was that, dude? The Grand Slam.
Yeah, but Denny's food's kind of shitty too.
But it's $3.99 though for like the Grand Slam.
But you can get a booth, bro. Like,
you can get a booth at any restaurant ever.
No
wonder Wilson really wants to go to Eden Park. The booth. It's all about the.
I'm like my heart goes out, Wilson. Like I want you to get to. I took. I know we talked about this at the time, but before Guardian Con, there's the one that Triton and I meet at actually is on the way to the Pittsburgh airport. Yep. So we stopped and got Super Burgers at like our flight was at 5 a.m. so we had to be there at like 3, I think. Yeah.
Damn.
So we stopped at like 2:30 and got Super Burgers, and they were happy. They were fans.
Was there a cult going on? Was there a
no,
cult meeting at that?
There were no cult meetings. No.
Can you mail me a Super Burger? Is that a thing?
I mean, I can. It's not going to be any good when it gets to you. It's like a
True.
It's like a bigger and better. I mean, it's still thin patties, but it's like a higher like quality Big Mac. Yeah.
You can't like vacuum seal and like dry ice that shit or something.
I mean, you could, but it's still not going to be any good. Also, I think they came out before Big Macs though, didn't they?
I don't know.
They used to be called Bob's Big Boy.
Yeah, I thought the Big Boy was the original one. And
no, dude, nothing existed before the Big Mac, dude. That's why it's the Big Mac. It's the genesis of all burgers.
That's not true.
100%, dude. Look it up on Wikipedia.
Also, I was recently at the Big Mac Museum.
What?
Really?
Well, hear me out.
How's it a museum?
It's called the Big Mac. They're the McDonald's in Irwin because the Big Mac's was made in Pittsburgh. They just have this really big McDonald's, and there's all these little like. I wouldn't say full like. What are they called when you go to a museum? This is like a very normal word.
Like an exhibit?
Exhibit. Yeah, all these little exhibits. They're like the history of the Big Mac. Thank you, Wilson.
Look at me, man.
Yeah.
Look at me, dude.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's enough of that. What else you got? Anything else been going on? What's your gaming been like? What are you getting into lately?
Well, I mean, I spend usually the summer with the kids. I think that's you guys always expect that cool. So
you got over your porn addiction though, right?
Well, in that time,
okay.
Of course, but
Well, I mean, like a true addict is always in recovery for the rest of it. You never truly get over being addicted to something. Trust me, Trust me.
So spending the summer with the kids playing baseball is always really cool. Youngest son on his way to trying to become the next Wally Pipp. So all kinds of things like that really make baseball pretty much the entire summer. So we spent a lot of time doing that, and then we moved in the beginning of August. So it took me a while to get internet and settled in and everything else. So actually not a ton of gaming. So I had to buy one of those like Mesh Force systems. I think that was my first real back to interacting with people in the space, was to ask if anyone recommended like those Wi-Fi extenders and stuff. So got one of those. I've actually only played about 22 minutes of Destiny the other day. was pretty much the first, because I wanted to do it the other day. Then that 1.4 patch or whatever that I had to download, so that took like my hour that I could have played. And so I finally did get to play, I think either yesterday or 2 days ago, and did like the first 3 things of the Season of Opulence. And yeah, so that's been pretty much the only thing for gaming. Mostly just house stuff, kid stuff, everyone going back to school. A couple vacations. Actually went to the Outer Banks only to get evacuated because of Hurricane Dorian, so that was lovely.
That's funny. I went to, I'll get to this, but I went to Florida like the day after Dorian passed through Florida.
No.
So probably around the same time that you went to North Carolina. I went a week ago today is when I left.
Yep. We went late last week, like not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before, and then we got evacuated like Tuesday. So we ended up doing like DC and the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. So a couple of things to do with the family.
I do like the harbor at Baltimore. It's cool as long as you don't get murdered.
No, as long as you don't go too far off of the harbor, as in like one street over. But other than that, if you're on the harbor, so that and just some other things, and yeah, it's just been pretty much something all the time with 4 kids. But at the same time, it's been a good time away. But I'm really looking forward to Borderlands 3. Tomorrow, and also looking forward to Shadowkeep in a month ish.
Yeah, let's say we're getting
right.
It's like half a month
weeks.
now. Yeah,
it's like 2 weeks, man. Two weeks. 2 dark, 2 below. Bro.
No, it's got to be 3. 2. I don't know. It's coming soon. 2 dark, 2 below. This is true.
Yeah, it's barely over 2 weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, I do want to tell you one thing about my week. I know our week is like non-Destiny stuff, but I'm a little disappointed in everybody I know that plays Destiny.
I'm totally shocked by this. So
I came back. I was in Florida, which I'll get to in a minute. I came back Sunday night, and then Sunday and Monday, I didn't have a ton of time, but I tried to sit down and get one of the Mars Nightfalls done so that I could like participate in the community challenge thing. And nobody fucking answered me, and I tried soloing it and just didn't have enough time. So
damn, why didn't you like call me, bro?
Because you don't answer when I call.
Media.
When I text you, you get it a week later.
Hey, settle down. We're in a safe place right here. All right, this is the nest.
Is this the trust tree?
This is definitely the trust tree.
All right.
Afterwards, you can bite my head off and yell at me. I had to do the same thing for Sam. Like I had to like race home on like a Sunday, like mow my lawn, even though I was staying like a half hour away at my parents'. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, I need a Nightfall," and I was like, "Dude, I'll knock this out, no problem, dude." She doesn't even have a Xur modifier card. She just doesn't give a fuck about PvE at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like, so I had to do the Nightfall Zol without any modifiers, so no heavyweight, no burn.
Well, the burn's on it anyway, isn't it?
I don't think so. Maybe it was. I don't know. But then I had to play it on a Warlock, and I had to do it on console. Dude, I have lost my thumbs. Like, I'm sure if I played like with a stick, like some sticks for the weekend or something, like it would come back. But just primarily being on like PC and like getting to like the addiction of like mouse and keyboard progression, I'm trash on the sticks, dude.
I'm just bad at everything, which actually comes into play. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, go for it, man. I'm sad. I'm sorry I couldn't help you with your Nightfall. Is the summary of the rant.
I was pretty sad.
Sorry, dude. When you're in my fire team, I'll wear the emblem for you.
Is that all I get from it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't really.
You get to participate in like the menagerie rewards. Everyone gets that.
Oh, well then fuck it. I don't care.
There it is.
It's very hard to actually upset me about much of anything.
There it is, boys and girls.
So yeah, I didn't really get to play too much Destiny. A, work's been crazy. B, I was gone for the majority of the last week, which is why I wasn't here last week. My flight was last Thursday morning down to Florida. Well, I don't remember what I was saying.
You lost your train of thought.
I did. I was reading chat.
You got all thrown out by chat.
I did. Chad threw me off.
Which would be a great time to tell our audio listeners that we do this live as well at twitch.tv/Hove76.
That's a good one. 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays.
You can come in and distract Hove whenever you'd like. And derail the podcast.
Yeah. It's kind of like an interactive podcast. If you talk enough, I fucking just...
Sure.
Nice. But no, so I was in Florida from Thursday to Sunday. I went down there to visit a friend. If you guys were at Guardian Con or have talked about Guardian Con, you met her. So that was a good time. Got to hang out. And the Destiny story, The one day, went over to her place and with some of her friends, and the one guy, Michael, that I met, is a big Destiny fan. Which, here's what's most impressive: he doesn't really he doesn't have a bunch of people that he plays with regularly, but he still had like at least 2 or 3 titles. So my man goes at it. You know, he LFG stuff and whatnot.
Man.
So he was like, oh, I'm doing Gambit. He was one like Triumph or whatever away from dredging. So I was like, yeah, we got another PlayStation out. I signed in my account. I was like, yeah, I'll play some Gambit Prime. Holy hell, was I bad? So I embarrassed myself. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm on like a Destiny podcast and in this clan, so let's play some Gambit. And then I just fucking died constantly.
To be fair, man, Gambit, anything goes in Gambit, dude. Doesn't really matter like what caliber of a player you are. Like shit can still happen.
No, it was because I mean that's fine. I agree with you, but it was because I'm bad.
I was trying to stick up for you there, man.
Don't do that.
I was gonna let that go.
Yeah.
It's what.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it's like I played a lot of Gambit as well because I've been helping Great American Hero get caught up for Shadowkeep. So he's been doing, you know, like the farming cheese and stuff like that. But like, no
cheese.
exaggeration, we've knocked out like 7 or 8 different exotics and like quests for him. And
nice.
like, so like I've almost been kind of like playing vicariously like through him. Like, dude, we got to get you this, we got to get you that. We knocked out the new raid. Like we did all the raids. It was cool because like him and Jimmy went from doing like none of the raids to all of them. And
that's cool. No one helped me with any of the raids.
Good drops.
What
and
about that
stuff.
RezoCast raid? When is that?
It has like it was kind of happening for a while, minus Hove. It was just me and Lego doing them. It's, you know, it's hard to get Hove out on a Wednesday night to do a raid when he's partying like a rock star in Florida on private jets with bottles of champagne and private Gambit Prime showings, and you know.
None of that's true. I don't know. You threw me off again. Someone's talking about. Never mind.
This chat is on fire with throwing you off tonight, dude.
I can't do it, man. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, I have also been playing. I believe this came up. I never played any Borderlands until this summer, and then I played through 1, and I'm playing through 2, and I'm not going to finish it because tonight at midnight is Borderlands 3 release. So once the podcast is over, I will be closing this down. We'll be hosting Nido Queen, who will be playing some Borderlands 2, and I'll be switching over and streaming that with her, and then we're going to play some 3 at midnight. So getting into the Borderlands
I'm excited for
thing.
you guys, man.
I'm excited.
I'm being patient. I'm going to wait. I'm so devoted to Shadowkeep right now, and I know that like you're the type of player that can totally like drop something, go play something else, and come back to it. But I'm probably just gonna wait until like winter. Maybe there's like a lull in gaming.
You got half of that right. I'm totally down with just dropping something, but there's no guarantee I'll ever come back.
True, absolutely. And I say like, oh, I'm totally gonna have more free time to play games when, you know, seasonal job, get laid off for the winter. But like, fucking like Link's Awakening remake is coming out, like Pokemon Sword and Shield, like Shadowkeep. I created the WoW account. I have a level 7 paladin right now, I know, which is like no I played it for a couple hours and I was like, dude, I can't do this right now. Like I can't. Like I saw it, kind of one of those things where like you make a bad decision and before it can like really affect your life, like you catch it and choose not to make that mistake again. So I might reattempt it during the wintertime when I have less responsibility, but right now I just can't fall down the WoW rabbit hole. Yeah, it's,
I mean, that's probably
too
a
much.
good idea, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I there's so many games coming out this fall and winter. There's been some new footage of the Final Fantasy VII remake that's coming out in March. I'm pretty excited about that, dude. That's gonna be good, man. The graphics look freaking phenomenal, Triton.
Yes, look ridiculous.
Like
Let's
some of the
go
people...
play an old game. Yay!
That's true. I guess both the games I just talked about, WoW Classic and Final Fantasy VII remake, are both fucking old games. Final Fantasy VII, I think, is definitely older than WoW. I'm pretty
97.
sure. Yeah. It's incredible. No, but it looks good. People have been clamoring for it for a long time. And it's cool, like from what I've seen, like the attention to detail and stuff like that is really doing some fan service and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited. March is a long ways away, but you know, when you're boomers like we are, time goes fast, you know.
Yeah, that's fair.
What's the percentage of the clan playing on PC now? Is it like high with the cross save?
It's
gone up.
They've both. I feel like it's brought people back just in general.
Okay.
But it's also hard to say right now because even like me, like since I've played mostly on PC because I can since cross save, but I still haven't come back completely. I haven't been diving into it a lot. I think once Shadowkeep comes out, we'll see. But it's definitely like I know there's at least a few people that were like me that had it for both but didn't feel like grinding both.
Right.
So now I can just do whatever.
Yeah, like making the switch makes more sense with the cross save. Like if there was ever a time to be like play on PC only now.
Do you remember that time that I thought my one eye was crooked? I think it is again.
Dude, you stop
which
with
one?
that, dude. Your perception is reality, bro.
Do you remember that?
Stop. Yes, I do remember that, and you fucking in our DMs sent me a picture of Slop from Goonies, and you're like, "This is what my fucking eye looks like right now." And I was like, "Bro, chill out, take it easy."
Speaking of, she's probably not here. She does stop in the podcast, but I was very upset. Misha has never seen the Goonies, and I'm telling everyone to give her a hard time. And I even told her friends, like I met her friends down there, and I was like, so I have a really important question. How do you feel about the Goonies? Have you seen it? And they all were like, yeah. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, we've seen it. And I was like, just looked at Misha, and they just went off on it. It was great. It went just as well as I thought it would.
It's like Spiffy McTaco. Sorry, buddy. And I know I call you out all the time, but there's so many movies he hasn't seen.
But he's just on a movie, so that's like a little different. Like I agree with you, but like he just doesn't care about movies, right?
Yeah, I guess, different upbringing. Like we went to a lot of movies, some people didn't, but like we're always like giving him these lists of movies to watch, and then like he'll watch them and he'll come back and be like, "Holy shit, dude, those are some good movies." Like Predator, like the original Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he's like, "Dude, that is a phenomenal movie." I'm like, "Right?"
Yeah, you should have seen it when it looked more believable. You would have liked it even more.
I mean, it's still
cool.
Up,
no, I know, but I'm saying like at the time when things were more like cutting edge.
Yeah, then there was like that weird awkward stage of like the late 90s where we just started figuring out like CGI, and it was awful. Like the original Mortal Kombat movie, like Reptile, it was the most
they were
awful.
both bad.
Oh, no, like not the movies. I'm just talking about like the CGI. Like it was
Yeah. Well, the movies were also terrible.
I mean,
they're making a new one though.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, man, the games nowadays are freaking movies with the amount of cutscenes. Like, do you remember like how I don't know if it was like criticized or revered, whichever way you look at it, for how many cutscenes were in like Metal Gear Solid games? It's approaching that level.
I've never played any Metal Gear Solid.
If you type in like Mortal Kombat 11, like all cutscenes, I think it's like I want to take a stab like anywhere from like 3 to 5 hours.
That's a little bit ridiculous.
That's a lot.
But it's like, it's lore. It's juicy lore. Like, it's not just like, oh, every 10 years we have this tournament. And
does everyone get like a thing, Wilson? Is that what it is too? Like if Johnny get like 20 minutes, so they just play. It's like 5 hours if it's does every character have a different storyline? Is that why?
It does.
I'm sure to a point.
Yeah, so like it does, like when you play through the campaign, you don't just play as one character. It will like for instance, you'll be on like a U.S. like army base, and it'll be like Johnny Cage and like Sonya Cage, and then like maybe their daughter like Cassie.
Did they get married
or whatever? Oh yeah, they had a daughter, Cassie.
Huh?
What?
Absolutely. So in the new Mortal Kombat, there's this god of time, Kronika, and she starts like meddling with time. So like at one point in time, current timeline Johnny Cage and like the first Mortal Kombat Johnny Cage are in the same place at the same time, and older Johnny Cage can't fucking stand his younger self. And and even like young Johnny Cage was totally saw like Sonya, and he's like, damn, I hit that or something. Like it's fun. He's like super obnoxious. Like it's good, right. But you bounce around to like different characters and stuff like that. I think it's like mostly like good characters though. I don't think you play as any of the bad guys in the campaign.
It's kind of like how Injustice is.
Yeah.
Like I think you just pick a side, right? And then it goes through and you have to pick a character or whatever.
Oh, that's cool. You can actually pick a side.
I don't know if you pick it. I might have made that part up.
You get no. You do definitely get a choice with the characters. Like when you go into a
right, but I think the story is just one story, and each fight you just get. I don't know, but it's similar.
Something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so should we talk about Destiny, or is there anything else you guys want to say? That's an honest question. I don't care. You can talk about whatever you want. Lego's not here. When the parents are away, the kids will play.
So Blaze Pizza ran this ad today where they were going to have you upgrade your 11-inch build your own pizza to the large pizza.
Listen, if I had an 11-inch, I wouldn't worry about upgrading.
Okay,
just put that out there.
Go to 14. So like they want you to try their new large pizzas, right? Except for that every time slot that you could possibly pick to have your pizza be upgraded, there were too many online orders. Like, come on, Blaze. Like, you knew this was going to happen. So I literally picked like 8:58 and they closed at like 9 or whatever, and there's still too many online orders, so I didn't get any Blaze Pizza at all upgraded today.
That sounds like
Ron, aka LeBron. That was the stupidest.
That sounds like a first world problem.
It is, and
I've still never been to Blaze though.
Bro,
really?
I couldn't get my discount. I couldn't get my discount pizza, dog.
Yes,
what?
bullshit.
Yeah, I couldn't get this upgraded. I was not pleased. I literally was standing outside of Blaze ready to go, and they just wouldn't upgrade.
What if it was all just a conspiracy to generate buzz? Like, because there's no such thing as like negative press. Like, by you talking about it, they've won.
I mean, it's possible. We could dive into those campaign type of things. I did have a lot of time off to do that stuff. But I'm just saying. I
do also want to point out quickly that I was totally serious. 11 inches is just big enough. Not just big, like it's big enough. If you go any bigger, you start to get to a point where it's too big and nobody enjoys it. I just want to. That goes for pizza and other things. So
don't speak for everyone, Ho. All right.
All right, Wilson. You make that happen and tell me how that goes for you.
I'll get back to you tomorrow.
There will be, oh, Jesus Christ. I did, however, Triton, I think you told me this like right before your hiatus, and I have since passed it on. I have so many people who now go to Buffalo Wild Wings for their burger because it's so fucking good.
Dude, it's good.
It's really good.
I can finally really talk about food with you guys. Holy shit, we have a B-dubs, and I love their burgers.
Isn't it good? Fantastic. It's so good.
The Great American Cheeseburger is awesome. They just hit you with like 2. Oh, so they have 2 new chicken sandwiches. Too.
I didn't try those yet.
I haven't tried those yet, but they do look pretty decent. One's like Nashville hot. The other one's like maybe I don't know,
California something or other.
Barbecue tofu or something. Yeah, it's something, but it's good. So I don't know. I haven't tried them yet, but I was really intrigued because it was right around when the Popeyes Chick-fil-A thing was happening too. And I was kind of like, oh man, they just.
I did, however, I talked about this, so I won't go too deep into it. But have you ever been to Wahlburgers?
No, they just built one in the mall though, so I want to go.
It's really, really good. I was very
really
surprised. I liked it a lot. Get the if you're gonna just get like a regular burger to see what it's like, get the double.
The double.
It's weird because the single is like 1 big patty, and then the double is 2 small patties. It's almost the same amount of meat, but they put way more cheese on, so it's like juicier.
Man, I can't relate, dude. We were just talking about B-dubs, and I was finally at the cool kids table, and then everybody's fucking lunch period ended, and I'm alone again.
I feel like that's because you went outside to get high.
It's true. I was never at lunch. We were never allowed to leave at lunch. I left every single day. It's a true story.
Nice.
Casey's gas station food over the high school food for sure, dude.
All right.
Is that the one you went to, the Ho? Wahlburgers and Robinson? Or they built other?
No, I went to the one. There's one in the North Hills near Ross Park.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I haven't been there. I saw that it was finally done.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I was very surprised. I thought it would be shitty. Hey, I'm a celebrity. I'm going to put my name on something, and it's going to be shitty food. Would you
put it like BRG or Burgertory type of territory, or
it's totally different? It's closer in style and taste to Shake Shack.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not a bad thing because you know we both love
the double actually reminded me a bit of Shake Shack. I think I prefer that. I'm done. I'll talk about food forever. We'll never have a podcast.
You two should start a YouTube channel where you guys go eat.
I can't get Lego to show up for this or I can't get Triton to show up for this fucking podcast.
No, not even a podcast.
I came back from the hiatus, which were, it's negligible as to.
It's
when
been like
it
half
was
a
supposed to
year.
start. No, it's been like 4 months.
In all seriousness, I've been listening to a
guess
lot of
is half a year.
podcasts recently that aren't like
Third.
themed around like a video game or an industry or something, and I have some good ideas, and I feel like we could have a spin-off, and I feel like we could have an actual successful podcast where we like just we'll talk about this later.
Are you saying there's some synergy, man?
I
Is that what
feel
you're saying?
like we could do some things.
You could do April
Maybe
Fool's
go
cast.
go on tour. Maybe make it a
tour.
job.
On tour. I have to travel. You know how I am about traveling, bro.
I'll drive everywhere with you, Wilson.
Sold.
Except when we go to Europe. Then I'll take
Dude,
a
I don't
boat
think I
with
do-
you.
I don't think I could be in a vehicle that drives on the opposite side of the road. That'd fucking terrify me.
Just go to sleep.
I'd rather hibernate.
I'll play some Iron Butterfly for you.
Dude, Inagata Davida, great song.
Triton, what do you think about Anagata Davida?
Yeah, you an Iron Butterfly fan, dude?
You don't know Anagata Davida.
Dude, I'm more likely to know if that new Dora the Explorer movie was any good because I take my daughter than I am about something else like that sometimes.
Something like
Although
what?
I did
It's
do-
older music. It's been around since
Well,
before.
I listen to almost no music.
I think it was in like
literally
Austin
don't.
Powers.
Get
one
some
of them as
culture
well.
in your
Oh, okay.
life.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I can send you. I did do some podcasting a little. Want to listen to a podcast I did? One about policy reform, one about causation and advanced.
Yeah, those
analytics
ones
that
I don't
could-
want to talk about that.
All right, well,
Gorniak had a good point in check. Get a bus and broadcast in there. We'll just drive around the country and just talk about the shit we see and learn, like interview people and talk about the towns. Let's do it.
really?
Yeah.
I don't
Drive
know,
around on
man.
a bus and talk about people in the town?
No,
I
like
look
talk to people and like learn about the crazy shit that's happening in each town. Like tell
I
us
look
about
like
some
a
crazy
criminal.
shit.
I don't know if people would want to talk.
You just
to
tell them
somebody
they're
who
gonna
looks like
be
a criminal.
they're gonna be on a podcast. It's fine.
Dude, Claw told me I looked homeless.
Well, I think the actual word was derelict, but
Yeah, true.
at least he was. Anyway, 41 minutes in, Lego. We're doing good. We're gonna get to Destiny now.
Yep.
So we're gonna just jump kind of right into the TWAB.
Okay.
Go through that. Not a broad bit of info, but there's a lot of specific things. They mentioned at the beginning, Shadowkeep's coming soon. There may even be a final pre-launch Bungie Vidoc about Year 3 next week. It's weird though because DMG wrote this and it said that's not it, there may be, but that's not my promise to make. Keep your eyes up. So it's weird. I don't know why they just wouldn't say. I don't know. Whatever. So there'll probably be a Vidoc. They give a little. This is a cool thing to check out. They have a little roadmap picture that's really good. It tells you everything that's on the left side. It's the Shadowkeep launch and tells you everything that's free seasonal updates because Destiny 2 base game is now free to play as of Shadowkeep, which they note. And then it has everything through Season of the Undying, which is 10.5 through 11.19, and there's like 10 things in there.
Pretty juicy. I'm really glad they did this like infographic.
Yeah,
format.
that's the word I was looking for. Good job.
Yeah, it's very clear and concise, so that you can decide if you want to partake in
Right.
Season of the Undying.
And because it's very nice too that they have 3 different icons that each event has. So one, it means it comes with Shadowkeep. One means it comes with the Season of the Undying pass, which is included with Shadowkeep. And then there's one that's free to all Destiny 2 players. So on 10.5, you have the Raid, which is for everyone, and the Vex Offensive begins, which is for Season of the Undying. 10.8, you get the... Now, maybe I missed stuff last week because I didn't get a chance to pay attention to the podcast too much. We did pop in. I don't know if you guys noticed. I did pop in chat while you guys were doing the podcast last week. But on 10.8, Hero and Legend Nightmare Hunts. Do we know what those are? Am I missing something? Or is...
I don't know, but it sounds really freaking cool. I'm kind
So
of in the
that
same
isn't
boat.
something you guys covered?
I wasn't here last week,
Oh.
so your guess is as good as mine.
We're like a new podcast now.
Yeah, dude, this is great.
It sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds dope as fuck.
And then the following week is Iron Banner for everybody and Master Nightmare Hunts, which comes with
Yeah.
Shadowkeep.
Which is definitely my thing.
Which part?
The Master Nightmare Hunt.
You don't even know what it is. What if you're terrible at it?
I'm definitely better than a hero or a legend. I'm definitely a master.
That's pretty high praise for yourself, saying you're better than a legend. On October 22nd is the first exotic quest, Leviathan's Breath. That is Season the Undying.
The heavy bow.
Yeah. October.
It's got the bike chain for the bow, for the string. Have you noticed that?
It does. It does.
Pretty cool.
October 29th through November 19th is Festival of the Lost, which is for everybody who has Destiny 2, no matter what.
Yeah.
Then October 29th is also the launch of a dungeon.
Yes.
And a new PvP mode called Momentum Control.
All right, right there, those two words.
It bothers
Momentum
me.
Control.
It bothers
no.
me. No, it bothers
What's
me.
other than it bothers you? What's the first thing that, like, you picturing this being a game mode? What is the first thing that comes to mind as to how it would play?
Badly.
Really? Like, well, why do you think badly? Like, what are you visioning this game mode to play out like?
I have no idea, but the fact that it mentions momentum, and one of the biggest problems in PvP right now is how you can just steamroll people depending on spawns and everything else. The whole momentum thing just makes me not.
I'm taking it as literal momentum. Like, you can't just hold A and C or A and B or B and C. You have to like be momentumly like rotating around the map. Like, using your momentum to, like, maybe you stop getting more points after you've been camping the fucking B flag the entire game. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's encouraging players to move around the map and be a little bit more strategic with the way that full screen Hove right there. People,
What? Yeah, what just happened?
To our audio listeners, for some reason Hove went full screen there and
that wasn't even me.
Instantly terrified. But you get what I'm getting at, though? Maybe
Yeah.
it's going to... Yeah, that's what I think. I'm probably totally wrong.
No, it's got to have something to do with, like... I feel like this is going to be the stupidest... It's got to have something to do with, like, moving around. Obviously, momentum.
I never looked at it that way, man.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, I had to, dude.
Triton, you got any thoughts on that?
Not really. I mean, I'll play it. I'll try to give it a chance, but no, again, only logging about 27, whatever I said, like 20-some minutes.
Yeah, but we don't know what it is, so we're speculating on the name.
Okay, so it took me 10 minutes to find pursuits in my menu earlier on, like when I was trying to play. So I really don't
totally
have
irrelevant.
much of an opinion.
Totally irrelevant.
I'm just saying I have no opinion on it. I barely was able to do.
It doesn't matter if you've never played Destiny. What do you think momentum control could possibly mean?
Listen, we're gonna get all the thoughts and concerns after 1029. All right. We'll be able to lay it all out there. Hope you'll be able to explain how bad of a shit show it is, or I'll get to either explain how right I was or how wrong I was.
That's fine. So actually, that's a big day, because the 29th is Festival of the Lost, the dungeon launch, the new PvP mode, and another exotic quest, Divinity. All drop on right before Halloween.
Yo, that's the trace rifle that creates like a big flare, which essentially is like a massive crit spot, dude, for your entire team. So if you've got people out there who are crack shot in PvP but an absolute potato in PvE for whatever reason, like myself, that's gonna be great.
All right. So here's real quick. Here's my guess on momentum control. If you don't capture, like if you capture a zone and you don't capture another zone within a certain amount of time, you lose the one you just had. So you have to continue moving and capturing zones around the map, or else you lose the one you already had, no matter what. That's my guess.
Yeah, because momentum is a thing you get health, like you can get your health regen, like right. That's a modifier, right? Is it momentum?
Yeah, I think so. Where you have to
take
run.
It out?
No, you can still do that on your Nightfall card, where you have to run to get your health back.
I thought that was one of the ones they were getting rid of.
Maybe, but it's currently still on the Nightfall card.
Well, either way, Triton, you can use dictionaries and it'll tell you what momentum is.
I'm just saying as an ability, because I played mostly PvE when I was playing towards the beginning of the year, I guess, at this point. So maybe it's as simple as that's the way you get your health back. That'd be a very boring prediction, but if you really want a prediction, then that would be the only thing that's coming to mind, because again, it took 10 minutes to find.
But my thing is, you're still trying to put it too much into what you know about Destiny.
Yeah, but that's actually kind of cool.
Very much right now.
But it doesn't have anything to do with it. You don't need to know anything about Destiny.
But hold on. He's actually got kind of a cool idea. So as long as you take damage in the game, you have to continue to move around to get your health back. So it'd be like the strike modifier, but in a Crucible game mode.
That
is
would
that
be
what you're getting at?
Awful.
I
Well,
mean,
guess
in
something
a
like
sense, it would be, but it would also keep people from fucking camping a lot. But
Yes,
yeah,
that's
I
what I
hear
was
you.
thinking.
I
Yeah,
hear
but
you,
the
Hogan.
second you get shot, you
Quite
have to
waffle.
run out into the open to try to
Yeah,
regen.
man,
You're dead.
just
It's
people
dumb.
running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
It'd be so dumb.
It's great.
November 5th is the first raid challenge, which is with
Ooh.
Shadowkeep, and then November 19th is the Vex Offensive Final Assault. So that's a lot of shit, man. That's the first season, right? Like that's season of the Undying.
That's October 5th through
November 19th.
November 19th.
And that's on top of just Shadowkeep, like story, whatever stuff comes with that, right?
That's chunky. Yeah, that's chunky, man. There's a lot of content in there.
I like it. The one thing I don't... It's
something
not
going on every week.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker for me, but I'm not a fan of the fact that they announced the dungeon launch, because wasn't the first one kind of like it just happened and everyone was like, what the fuck is this?
I think so. But I'm kind of glad they did, because I didn't expect them to do that at all. And like, while I agree with you, Hope, that like it would have been awesome on the 29th to log in and just expect to do like more Festival of the Lost stuff, you know what I mean? And then this dungeon launches, like what is the Shattered Throne? Isn't that what it's called, the current one? Yeah, Shattered Throne. Phenomenal, dude. I don't need any of the weapons or anything out of there, like, but I still do it when it's around on like all three characters. This is a really fun experience to do.
It just seems odd to me that we talk so much, and like I said, this isn't a bad thing, it's just what I would prefer. We talk so much about how cool some of these like hidden exotic weapons are, and these the Shattered Throne and the Whisper thing and all that stuff, and they're like 2 months ahead of time, like, hey, we're gonna do the next dungeon. Just kind of takes some of the wind out of the sails for me.
I would 100% expect. I even hate saying that. Too late. I already said it. I would 100% expect there to be something in there similar to Whisper and or
yeah.
Prime.
I mean, they've definitely said they know we like the secrets and they want to do them. I don't know. Just my thought.
Even if it's like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, new exotics are really cool, but even if that's like how they choose to bring back like a few choice D1 exotics, give them a little bit of love, a little bit of like Last Word and Thorn, there was like some missions to it, you know what I mean, like specific things that you had to do. Like I thought the
well, that's like these two quests, right? Divinity and the other one. It's just the exotic quests for it, right? Same idea.
Yeah. It's cool, man. I'm excited. And then there's going to be another roadmap after that, too, for the next season. So if this season sets the tone for, like, the rest of the seasons to come, man, it's pretty cool.
Here's one thing that, Triton, I'd like to know how you feel about. And it doesn't matter if you've played Destiny or not. So the raid this time is launching. One, are you familiar, because I know you weren't around for this last one really either, the contest modifier?
No.
So actually, Wilson, do you have a better idea of how that works? Because I'm not 100% sure. I know it like caps the encounters.
Let's say we form a raid group, and Hove gets like the perfect amount of RNG. Like let's say we all do. Let's say every one of us in the group gets perfect RNG, and we go into the raid on day one, and we're the highest possible light you can be before getting into the raid. We would have an advantage because of our light level. So now they're putting like soft caps at the encounters. So let's say like you were 750 light. The encounter that you're in, it might cap you at 720. So you're not getting any bonus to progressing any further. But the next encounter, that might bump up a little further and a little further. And they keep that in place until World's First happens, right, Hove?
I think it's for the first week.
I thought it was specifically for World's First. I could totally be wrong.
Well,
Chat
either way,
is definitely going to let us know.
The gist of it is so that the World's First race isn't decided by who grinds the most at the beginning, because it evens everyone out. And on top of that, so that already happened in the last raid. So now this raid, for the first time, it's Saturday, correct?
Tuesday, yeah. It's on a weekend.
So it's on a Saturday, and it's even. So we all thought that was pretty positive. We thought it kind of created the best opportunity for everybody to have a chance at. I just want to get your thoughts on it.
No, I think both are great.
It is first week, Hove.
For the first whole week. I wasn't around for the contest thing that you mentioned earlier, but as it relates to the last raid. But I think both those things are good things. I think people that don't have to take off work necessarily, although some people do work on the weekends. And I think it is cool. I think that you don't have to worry about grinding a ton because
I mean you
over
still
the
have to
years-
get to a certain, like, you still have to get
Yes.
some power, but
Right, but I mean, I think the way Wilson opened up saying like perfect RNG, I think that way it's frustrating for those who do spend all that time to try to get those things. And at the same time, if you didn't put in a ton of time, but you did get a little bit lucky, then maybe you could be in a position to be in a raid group too. I mean, I think over the years, for how many raids there's been out, there's probably been at least one where I didn't play enough, and then you just don't really play, right?
Did you
like
say
if
at
that
least
person-
one? Because there's definitely at least 12.
No, at least one raid that I didn't participate in because of that type of luck. So, or just didn't play a lot the whatever weeks.
That's what I mean, like
leading up.
all of
So-
the raids.
Like it
I
really.
think some of the raids I think that first probably Destiny 1 I always prepared to try to do the raid right away. And I think even I don't know, maybe the first couple one for Destiny 2, definitely not the last couple though.
It's just really cool for the people who get really crap RNG because there might be that one person in the group that put in more time than everyone, but they got 7 auto rifles in a row, you know, primary auto rifles or whatever. Like, it's really cool, and they did clarify in chat that it is for the first week. I think they finally have all their ducks in a row to say this is as fair as we can make it for everyone attempting World's First. We're putting it on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting in these light level quote-unquote caps. Like, I don't think there's much more they can do, man, to level the playing field, to be honest. Like, yeah.
And I do want to say, this may be unpopular. It's great that they did it. You know, I realize that does make the most sense, and to let people participate. But I find it really, really hard to believe that it's going to make much of a big difference in the world's first race. Like, I always think
dude,
it's
no.
always going to be the people who min-max and play the shit out of it and everything.
No, for
they
sure.
just have
like,
a better
you
grasp
wanna
of the game generally.
You want to be at the upper echelon of your hobby or your sport, like, you have to devote a lot of fucking time to it. And if, like, you have other stuff, like jobs and families and things that require a lot of your time, like, it's just, hey, it is what it is. Like,
It's like being in an intramural league now.
yeah. Sometimes you get it, and sometimes you get got.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. So yeah, that's all I got on that. The roadmap looks awesome. I'm glad they're still doing roadmaps. I like the way they really broke it down. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, man, I cannot wait.
So we got a lot here. Last week they gave you some of the upcoming changes to abilities in Shadowkeep. This week they're giving a patch note preview on weapon tuning. So it's pretty long. What I'm going to do is just kind of, I don't like just reading down them because anybody can go read.
Let's cherry pick.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of give a little mention to all of them, but we're going to kind of just talk about the ones that really stand out to us. So I'm going to go through. If you guys see anything that I missed that you want to talk about, bring it up. But I just want to touch on a lot of them and not go too in depth. So starting, minor enemies are no longer going to take more precision damage. Okay. That just kind of was its own section. With weapons, this one's big that I like. Weapon mods are no longer reusable, or are no longer consumables. They're reusable unlocks.
Right.
So anything you have now will be converted. So you can use your mods more frequently. The only real restriction on it is if you only have one of said mod and you have it in a gun, you can't use it in another gun. But you can take it out and move it around. So
Heck yeah.
it's more like just plugging shit in instead of like eating it up. You know, you can move them around as you want to.
Yeah, it's cool because I'm going to be able to delete a lot of my extra duplicate mods and get those mod components that are probably going to be much, much needed in upcoming Destiny. So I'm just going to keep one of everything, move it around.
Yeah, but say, what if you have two guns you want to use the same mod on?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
I mean,
Cross
they're
that
gonna.
bridge when I get to it.
I would assume they're still gonna stack. So there's no reason to not have more than one.
Right. No, I just want those mod. I'm in like super farm mode right now. Like I'm up to like 600 enhancement cores, only like 300 mod components. I need more.
Listen. Go with two. Keep at least 2, Wilson. I don't want to be the one in a game with you when you're complaining that you don't know which gun to put something in.
I would have won that engagement had I had an extra backup mag.
Right.
But I had one more shot.
God, why'd I put this stupid? You know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
So auto rifles and bows are both getting some PvE damage increases. Hand cannons are getting PvE damage increase. And this I thought was interesting. Lightweight and adaptive hand cannons are getting a new firing animation while ADSing.
So we actually saw this recently when they previewed Armor 2.0, when they had like Tomo and a couple other devs playing. They had like a Hunter, a Warlock, and a Titan, and they were going through, I think it was the Infinite Forest. Aztecross was the first one that brought it to my attention, but I think Kujay was the first one to discover it. Was that Tomo's, the animation of him shooting his hand cannon, the hand cannon would settle back to its like stationary position quicker. And not a lot of people were talking about it, and like he definitely called it, and it's cool to see this confirmed.
Yeah, and they point out that 140 and 150, visually it looks like it's fully reset, but if you shoot in that period where it looks like it's reset but it actually hasn't, it will be shot as if it was still recoiled. So you'll get, you know, less accuracy.
I'm down.
New
it's
firing
cool.
animation.
The 140, that's your better devils. The 150, that's like your thorn, spare rations, archetypes.
And along with that, they're also reducing the effect the range stat has on damage range fall off, aka effective range for that same archetype.
We saw this in D1 with Rise of Iron with hand cannons. Just a little bit steeper fall off.
No, they're reducing the effect.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Never mind. We haven't seen this. Dude,
that's what I'm
hand
saying.
Cannons, let's go. They're going to be even crazier on PC, dude.
So, that's good.
Hopefully you have to spec for it, though, a little bit more with, like, mods and perks and things. Like,
machine guns are getting PvE damage increase, and they are actually, and now this one they're increasing the effect of damage range fall off, which is fine because
thank God.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
PC, Aztecross said it best. What you mean? I can't invade and gambit and snipe everybody with my machine gun? Like,
the more
it's a much needed nerf.
Yeah, I agree. And the more I read through this, the more we'll see how they play out. But
I think that's the only like direct like nerf.
No, and here's where I think it's interesting because hand cannons they reduced it, so then the range fall off won't be as bad. Pulse rifles are also getting an increased.
They needed it, yeah.
Increased effect of damage fall off.
Thank God.
But they are also getting a damage buff in PvE, and there's some archetype specific damage changes that like I said, those are getting in the numbers. We're not going to read too much into that. You guys can check this out. Scout rifles are getting a PvE damage increase. Sidearms, same.
Nothing on PvP for the scout rifles, though, man.
No.
I mean, there's a few good ones out there, like, but they're all one archetype.
Pulse rifles are getting better damage or more damage fall off.
True, that might make those shine because of that.
Maybe, and especially
that's a good point.
Especially on a map like you bring back Widow's Court, and it may be more viable too if you don't want to snipe.
Bro, Widow's Court, man,
right.
I'm so excited.
Sidearms also getting PvE damage increase. Snipers, PvE damage increase. Exotic sniper rifle perk damage bonuses have been modified to compensate. They will not receive the full benefits of those increases because of other damage perks. Yada yada yada.
Can I just say that like I'm also glad that like all the PvE damage things are buffs.
Yeah.
And like
and
not like
a lot of them are pretty sizable.
Dude, 30%, I'm seeing 36%, like 47% with sniper rifles against minor enemies. Now, a lot of these are against minor enemies, but hey, more damage is more damage, dude.
Right. And it's also interesting to note, though, that especially the ones that are against minor enemies, remember they're also reducing precision damage on minor enemies.
Yep.
So
that's why.
So it's going to probably, I don't want to say totally even out precision shots, but again, it's a fucking minor enemy. They're probably going to die anyway. But it'll make body shots more viable, so you don't have to be as good.
They're called trash mobs for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we should call our podcast. The trash mobs.
Trash mobs? Oh, that's the new one. Yo, let's get that shit trademarked now. Yo, chat, if you take it, I swear.
Done.
That's it. I'm leaving it at that.
And I do want to point out that a lot of these damage increases, we're not reading through them, but a lot of them say they're on specific enemy types, whether it's be minors, majors, or somewhere in between.
Yes.
So, like I said, if you guys want to look into that, go for it. But, you know, we don't think anyone wants to be here to just listen to us read a TWAB. So I'm just giving you detailed or overviews. So some more changes to SMGs. Teraba and Huckleberry, because of some of these changes, are going to get a 10% damage boost in PvE and PvP. Going into exotics, Sweet Business is getting, it looks like, a buff, right?
Yeah.
In pretty much lots of ways. Increased mag, PvE damage, all kinds of stuff. Graviton Lance, PvE damage increased. Sunshot, this is a big one.
Yeah.
Magazine increased to 12.
Thank goodness. You know what? I was talking with Spiffy about this the other night, and I was like, bro, I'll take 11. I was like, 12 would be cool. 13 would be better, but I would be okay with 11. So I'm really glad they're putting 12 in the mag for that weapon.
Mm-hmm.
That falls into that 150 RPM archetype, which on PC is currently my favorite hand cannon to use in the Crucible. So I'm really excited to see that thing, because visually it's one of my favorite guns, and I don't know, just everything about it's really cool.
You're really cool.
Dude, that was like when you had to make that choice in D2 vanilla, definitely pick Sunshot.
To be fair, we already knew it though too, right? Like we had used that.
We had it in the beta,
yeah.
But I didn't have the other stuff, and I was like, dude.
No, but you knew it was badass.
Yeah, and then I was disappointed. So.
Yeah, I'm used to disappointing people. Vigilance Wing, PvE damage increase. Crimson just getting a damage buff. Fixed an issue where it was dealing higher flinch than intended. Merciless is getting its aim assist stat fixed. Ace of Spades. Oh, this is interesting. Ace of Spades, Memento Mori's damage bonus is now affected by range fall off. Apparently it wasn't.
I didn't know that it wasn't before.
No.
But I also find it funny that a lot of people have been talking about Merciless since vanilla D2 and it not having aim assist. So it's good to see that finally get that taken care of.
Yeah. Interesting with Ace of Spades. So does that mean, I guess it was a flat number buff as opposed to, you know how most things are a percentage buff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming if damage fall off, if it was percentage based, would have affected it, but I'm guessing it was just a straight 20 or whatever number, just straight damage difference, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Also, I do want to point out, John just said in chat, Crimson, you know, it got a damage buff, but it was a pretty big one. It's going from 19 to the body, 30.5 to the head. Or I'm sorry, it's going to 19 and 30 from 13 and 24. So it's getting a pretty nice boost.
Yeah.
And that's a pulse.
Substantial.
I mean, it's a hand cannon, but it's a pulse. I mean, if you hit 3 headshots, you're going to do 90 damage right there. So, Lumina, just fixing some bugs with it. And the Colony, Serve the Colony now functions as auto-loading holster does. And there's okay. One more section, quickly. There's a few perks. Subsistence reduces the impact of this perk on total reserves. Ricochet rounds getting a change. Swashbuckler now activates when getting a kill with ball lightning. I like that. Ball lightning. I'm going to start using that. Grave Robber, this is kind of cool. Perk now activates when getting a kill with ranged melee abilities.
Yeah, that's going to be... So, I'm really glad you brought that up. I was totally spacing because Sam brought me some nachos.
God damn it.
I'm really glad that you brought that up. So there's some people that are already been running some tests, and they've been using... I think it's Young Ahamkara's spot. No, I forget what Hunter Exotic it is, but melees reload your weapon. And there's people standing in front of Riven, and they're throwing their throwing knives at them and reloading their weapons now in preparation for boss melts on
Well, how does that work? Because you still have to get a kill.
No, let me look it up real quick. There's a Hunter Exotic.
You're talking about... Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but it made me... You bringing that up reminded me of this. And It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what we're currently talking about. It's just that people, with the changes coming to auto-loading holster, Luna boots, rifts, that sort of thing. People are already finding new ways to melt bosses. And
wow. So what you're saying is, when some of these things get nerfed, there's no fucking reason to freak out because we always find a way to do crazy shit anyway? Huh.
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because that is actually mentioned here in the TWAB.
Oh, yeah.
We'll probably find a way to break it.
That's the next perk. 1-2 punch. Reduce the effectiveness of stacking 1-2 punch and cross counter. Example, players won't be able to defeat Riven in less than 3 seconds after Shadowkeep launches using the combo of 1-2 punch and Liar's Handshake, but we know many of you will try other builds and potentially succeed.
They know.
They know.
They know.
Anything that you guys, I tried to go through that pretty quick. I know we touched on it. Is there anything else that stood out to you guys with that stuff? Or even stuff we talked about that you just thought was really
Sealed
cool?
Ahamkara's grasps are what you're looking for to pull off the new reload thing. Yeah. Melee damage reloads your weapon. So you could spec Gambler's Dodge and unload all your ammo, throw your knife at the boss, dodge near an enemy, and get that throwing knife back. Again, your melee. And I think that's also, it's gonna count, that counts for smoke bombs on hunters. And that continually does damage, so if you spec for the one that lasts longer, you can make that reload your weapon for you with that.
I would love to spec for the one that lasts longer, but
absolutely, man.
Yeah, it hasn't happened for me.
That is the dream.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys thought was cool? Like I said, I thought the pulse rifle damage fall off, the machine gun damage fall off, and the scouts not getting it, or not getting it reduced, increased. I thought was interesting. I do think that's a small attempt to make scouts more viable. Will it work? I don't know.
Without overdoing it and making them completely broken.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. You nerf one thing, it definitely has
it changes
an effect
everything
on other things. 100%.
Absolutely.
Dude.
And I mean, pulse
100%.
rifles were always a big reason. Even back to D1, pulses versus scouts was a big reason that scouts never got super used for the most part, is because pulses could shoot damn near as far.
Yes.
I think the changes to Sunshot, as simple as it is, beautiful gun, very cool to use, just needed more in the magazine, is probably my favorite thing to take away from this entire TWAB other than the roadmap. I just want to use Sunshot, dude. I just want to make shit blow up. Let me ask you one question. Explosions?
Is that the question?
Yeah, it's a question. The answer is yes.
Oh.
Always more explosions.
Let me ask you a question.
It's actually from Borderlands, Hove.
Nachos?
Yeah, dude, having them right now, bro. They're dank.
I know. Do you know what I'm on? I don't want to say most excited because that wouldn't be fair to the rest of the game, but you know what has me really excited about playing Borderlands 3 tonight?
What's that?
Just the intro. The intros to Borderlands games are so damn, there's just so much, they ooze style. Do you know what I mean? The music, and I'm really excited for that.
I love the intro to 2. I've watched that at least a dozen times.
Yeah, I have it. If you go to my YouTube, the bar under it is red because that means I just fucking watched it. You know what I mean? How it shows you how far you are.
I always
in
like the
video.
first one with that song, "No Rest for the Wicked."
I think I love that song. I think the reason, and granted, I just started playing Borderlands. I think the reason I like the other one a little better is because I didn't know the song. Even though I really like No Rest for the Wicked,
enough.
I've known that song for so many years. I didn't know the song for Borderlands 2.
True.
Shall.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing in the TWAB. I didn't do this on purpose, but the title of this part is called Reckoning, One More Thing. I didn't do that on purpose. They're making one more...
that.
Yeah, I'm I should work at Bungie. They're making one more change. Starting on September 17th, which is this coming Tuesday, all negative modifiers will be removed from Reckoning. It'll still have a weekly Singe, and then a daily rotation of Brawler, Grenadier, Heavyweight. They want to improve the replayability, so they're only going to give you positive modifiers instead of negative.
That's huge. On top of the changes they just did, making us take less damage and giving them less health, I think it was.
You're talking the previous ones.
Yeah. So they're doing this on top of changes to already make it easier. Dude, I'm ecstatic about this because even though with the previous changes to making it easier, there's still modifiers that can make it a bitch to clear. And I want that God roll spare rations, dude. I really want it. I've been hitting it hard.
I just want some spare nachos.
I got you, dude.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I'll mail them to you. See, unlike you, I'll vacuum seal it and dry ice and mail it to you.
You know what I can do? I can have. There's a couple really good pizza places around here that are known. They will half bake a pizza and then ship it to you because they're so good that they have people shipping them from out of town.
Damn, that's incredible.
There's at least 3 I can think of around here that do that.
That's way better than the Papa Murphy's take home and bake.
Mm-hmm.
It's already half baked, bro.
You're already half baked.
Fully.
Destiny player support thing. I'm not going to read through this, but they do mention a few things with Steam linking and PC migration. So if you haven't done that, even if you don't plan on doing it now and you want to know what it's going to be like in the future, they talk about from October 1st forward how that's going to work. So check that out. And Destiny 2 and silver purchases on BNet. They also talk about that a little bit. That's about everything.
Good job, Hove.
No, I still don't. I don't like it when Lego's not here. I feel like I want to have fun, but then I feel like I have a responsibility.
Hey,
and
did
then
a way better job
goes,
than I did.
No,
So
I don't
it was natural. It was good. Good job, Hove. Take a fucking compliment. And
We're
move
not
on.
done yet. I could still fuck it up, Wilson. This podcast is not over. We're only an hour. Okay, I want to point out that I am losing my touch. I don't have Lego here, and not only have I not totally derailed the podcast, but somehow it's only an hour and 15 minutes. I don't want to stretch it to 2 hours like we usually do, but holy hell, how did I not... What am I doing with my life? What did I do wrong?
You figure one more person to put in input on 15 different subjects at maybe 1 to 2 minutes per weigh-in.
But keep in mind, usually Lego says a lot more than Triton did today.
Is that true? But I'm just saying, I
don't know. Maybe we should have Triton take over leadership of the podcast, and we go leave and do what's our new podcast called?
Trash Mobs.
Yes,
Trash
thank
Mobs.
you.
Trash Mobs.
Or just the
Dude.
Trash Mob. We are the Trash Mob.
Is that like the Glitch Mob or the Mob Squad?
Yeah, let's start a podcast called the Trash Mob, and we'll just go around and inspect people's garbage.
Oh, we'll just talk about trash, not literal trash, just trashy subjects.
Oh no, I meant. Oh, that's a good idea, but I meant we'll just go around and look through people's garbage.
Man, I don't know if I could do that, dude.
I don't want to do that either.
You ever see that movie The Burbs?
No.
With Tom Hanks, his neighbors were murdered, and his neighbor took the garbage out and beat it with a stick, and he's like, no one does that. No one takes their garbage out at 2 a.m. and then beats it to death with a stick. It's a great movie.
Somebody does.
It's a great movie, The Burbs. Check it out. I don't know if it's held up actually, so.
I mean,
that one, I don't know. That one may not have held up.
Nothing anymore holds up. Let's be honest here.
Is that a personal problem, Hove? You want to talk about it?
No, there's pills for that.
All right, man. Just want to make sure you're taken care of.
You don't even have to have a prescription anymore. They have generic ones.
Let's just give it to you like.
I just know that from ads on the internet. In case anyone was wondering. I don't need those. I don't need those. Because I don't have a sex life.
Just trying to save yourself and then you just epically burn yourself.
That's what you gotta do.
This is now derailing more.
No, this isn't derailing. This is the end of the podcast. This is what we always do at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, we just crash the podcast at the end of every episode.
I feel like we did a really good TWAB. We talked about that. I was
no, dude,
that was legit.
Very thorough. Very thorough.
I complimented you on it, and
yes, you did take it, Hove.
Yeah.
I don't like compliments.
That's fair. Keep it humble, dog.
Compliments are like a kick in the nuts. I don't know.
I don't take compliments well either, dude. You're not alone.
I don't like them.
No, it's cool to keep it humble, dude.
I mean, it depends. If it's never mind. That's gonna go way into matters.
If it's like Charles of Osiris, and I was like, "Yo, good shot, Hove." He's like, "I know. I always hit those." That's usually what he says. So
I might say that actually. I was gonna say if it's like an indisputable thing. If it's like, "Oh, you look really nice today," fuck you. No, I don't. But if it's like, "Wow, that's really big," I can't say you're right. I mean, no, it's not. I'm just gonna prove it. I'm gonna show you.
Actual compliments, no good. Sexual compliments, Hove's all about it.
No, there's first of all, sexual compliments are actual compliments. Don't sex shame.
I don't have time for your semantics, sir.
Don't sex shame. All right.
I'm not. I never kink shame.
There's no.
Right?
That's not even a kink.
I'm the king of kink. All right. I don't kink shame.
Oh, do you know what we do have to do? Somehow kink shaming made me think of this. We do have community questions.
Oh, nice.
Great transition.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose.
Way to remember.
So I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what you guys got to last week. So I'm only gonna start with the ones that came in today after I posted. So there's only a couple, but Anon Pig knows that I'm an idiot and can't do this. So he actually put to save you scrolling. Here's my question from a couple weeks back. You have the ability to go back in time and change one event or thing. Everything is still the same despite that event/thing being changed. So Avengers Endgame time travel rules. Except one person of your choosing remembers it the way it originally happened/was. What do you change and who remembers?
Tough. I changed the day I met Hove 76 in Trials of Osiris on the map. Shit.
What was the map?
But
what was the map?
I would
Last
change
Exit?
Last Exit.
Mhm.
I would clearly I'm the one who doesn't fucking remember, so I would be the one that doesn't remember. No, I would change it to that only I would remember the way that we met, but I would tell you some ridiculous story as to how we met. And
No, I think you're understanding this question wrong.
Uh-oh.
You're changing something that happened, and no one else is going to know that you changed it except one person who's going to remember.
That does change. Okay, yeah, that's a way more in-depth question.
And
that's fucking hard.
Destiny related?
I think just anything.
No.
Okay. Because I was trying to think out what I changed.
Dude, Anon, you can't just drop a question like that and expect me to come up with an answer right away. That's like something that I might have to like sit down and think about on a weekend.
Well, think
shake
about
your
it
head at
right
me.
now.
What would you change?
I have no fucking idea.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's a fucking bombshell of a question, bro.
I mean, I have one because it's easy to come. It comes to mind, but I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. But yeah, I mean, that's like a. If it was Destiny related, I think that'd have been easier. Like Wilson immediately had.
I mean, it could still be. You could still do Destiny related.
That's true.
So what's yours?
I mean, honestly, just diving right back in, I think one of the last conversations I had with my mom before she died of cancer was not one that I wish I would have had. So if I would have known that that would have been the last time, I really would have been able to have a decently memorable conversation. I would have done that. So for me, I mean, I guess it's personal. I mean, people have gotten to know me for
who's
3
going to be the
years.
person that remembers before you changed
had
it?
My dad remember that because I think he would appreciate that I would want to do that, I think. So, I mean, he would remember that. So, I mean, being personal, I was adopted. My parents were both really, really wanting to adopt, like, mostly, and they were unable to have kids at the time, and I have since had a brother and sister. But one of the last conversations I had with my mom was that I wish that wouldn't have happened because it was terrible growing. I mean, and hope you're from the area. Obviously, the Asian population outside of Oakland isn't a ton. And I wish that it wouldn't have been so bad for me in, like, high school. So to have that conversation and then not be able to have a conversation like, oh, by the way, I wish I wouldn't have done that, is always something I don't want to say always think about, but I've thought about enough in this context. And I think, my dad probably would appreciate if I would have changed that or not done that.
That's a really good answer, man. And to be honest, any answer I think I could give at this point would pale in comparison to something like that. So that's huge.
You kind of made me think of one that I honestly I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to get into it. It made me think of a really good answer, and I have an answer, but I'm going to keep it to myself. But it also involves very similarly. I really feel like I'm not trying to copy your answer, Triton. You just really hit home there because mine would also.
I know what you're getting at, man.
Go
Yeah,
with
we know,
my mom died of cancer too, and just there's some things I would have changed there. Nothing bad, but we're gonna move on. But
yeah, man.
John did point out in chat that Anon posted that question like weeks ago and just reposted it. So thank you, John. I appreciate that. Seriously, no sarcasm. Thank you for
thank you
calling
to
us
Anon
out.
for a deep question. He's always got something really.
Don't worry, he has
cool
another one
to say. Oh,
the
boy.
lore guy.
Maybe I shouldn't thank him just yet.
Yeah. So Lego's wish remains true. Now,
Uh-oh.
for context, Triton, there was a question that Anon asked that we did like a round table. Every person got to make a wish, one wish, and then the person to their right or left, I don't remember how we did it, was your genie. So like you would make a wish, I was your genie. So then my part of the question was, how would I corrupt your wish?
Fulfill it corruptly, yeah.
Yeah, so like Lego's was, he wants, you know how he's a big horror movie guy. He wants every horror movie that comes out from now on to be really scary. And my corruption of that was, they will be, but the reason they're all so scary is because every horror movie that comes out, you live. They are happening to you.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yikes.
So Lego's wish remains true, but this time you've all been sucked into the movie that is based on his life and are now children in Derry, Maine. Which, if anyone is a Stephen King fan, that's where a lot of his stuff takes place. A cosmological horror has been living here for centuries, feasting on the townsfolk, and appears to you as your biggest childhood fear. What is trying to eat you?
A giant spider.
Are
So
you...
my question...
Wait. Are you being serious?
Yes, spiders.
Oh.
Hate
Well, no.
them. Absolutely.
Here's
Now, my question would have changed, though, if you would have asked me when I was in 4th grade and I about got my arm ripped off by a dog. Like, first time I ever had to get stitches, I had to get 198 stitches. It would have been dogs. But I've since, like, we're at an even playing field now, me and dogs. We're cool.
Here's the thing that's funny about that. Have you seen It or read It, the Stephen King book?
Yeah, doesn't it have a giant fucking spider in it?
And it was in, like, he was taking this from, like, that's what It is.
So-
It's a cosmological
so I think
horror
that's-
living there for centuries, feasting on the townsfolk, and appears as your childhood fear. That's why when you were like a giant spider, I was like, you're a fucking cheater, Stephen King.
No, I think that's part of the reason why, and the movie Arachnophobia.
I didn't see that when I was young enough for it to be scary for me.
Dude, fuck that movie. That's all I gotta say.
Because
Like,
let's be honest, it's kind of campy now. Like
it's like the opposite of like The Notebook. Like, why would somebody make a movie so sad? Like, in my opinion, it's like Arachnophobia. Why would somebody make a movie so freaking like horribly scary? Spiders, dude, they're not cool, man. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, spiders are fine. I just don't like snakes. I've never had a snake seek me out in my home and fuck with me. Spiders do it about once a month.
they're not looking for you.
100% they're looking for me.
You're
They
so
got
full
eight,
of shit.
Don't they have like 8
Now
fucking
your
eyes? They can't not look for
now
me.
your
They can't not
conspiracy
look for me.
theory stretches to nature. Nature is conspiring.
No, they're just little fuckers in general. Like, I get, yes, it is nature. They're they're programmed by nature to be shitlords, straight up. Just saying, man. Find one in your toilet someday, and it might freak you the fuck out, dude.
We don't.
You don't have spiders where you're from, really?
No,
really,
we get.
Hove?
I have Terminex comes once a month and sprays. I haven't seen a spider in here in I don't know how long.
Bro, I'm calling Terminex then, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna be
They
like,
spray
Hove 70.
They spray the inside and the outside.
Be like, my guy Hove.
Yeah.
Highly recommended you guys to take care of these.
Tell them you want
little-
the Hove discount and they'll charge you double.
Or it'll just get really weird. Like, they'll think that like, I'm asking for like a sexual favor or something.
Triton, you got anyone? Any
So I
answer?
mean, is this like an actual? So like I mean, Hove mentioned or Wilson mentioned spiders.
Why
So
do
I
you
mean,
make
are we
this so
talking like something that's
goddamn
like an
difficult?
outward manifestation of like that
It
takes
appears
form,
to you
or are
as
we
your biggest
talking-
childhood fear. So
Right,
what
but
is
then,
it?
like if that's not a that's what I'm saying is like what if it's like going to the doctors was your biggest fear?
Then it's
Not
probably
necessarily
a
the doctors,
doctor.
but the concept. But no, but I'm saying, but like not if it's just like a, I don't know.
Okay, well you're
No,
a child.
it's a gang-
You're a
it's a
child,
gang
and
of-
the concept of going to the doctors is what scares you. So this doctor comes and he's like telling you he's gonna fucking give you a rectal exam and shit.
No, it's a line of doctors out the door.
Yeah.
It's all the doctors.
I mean,
dude.
I guess I don't know. I needed to ask that.
Well, because keep in mind,
So I
like
don't have an answer.
right now, your answer, like you realize that the act of going to the doctors is what was scary as opposed to the doctor itself. But when you were afraid of it, I'm not saying if it was you. I don't know if that was your answer, but you were afraid, like, people are afraid of the doctor, the dentist when they're children because they don't get, do you know what I mean? So the doctor probably would scare the shit out of you.
Dude, doctor, yeah, no one likes going to the doctor.
Also,
Yeah,
I don't have an answer though because I ain't scared of shit.
Please, bro. I doubt it.
I don't know, my biggest fear is probably heights, so I don't know. I don't know what would how would
How
that
the hell do you get on a plane then all the time? You're like, oh, it's no problem. But
well, here's my thing. I also love like roller coasters and stuff. My thing is like, if I'm standing on something like say the Empire State Building, you know how they have like a really high fence.
Yeah.
That I can like do whatever. But if it's just like a railing, I will stand there like arm's length. Like I can't go look down over it.
I probably would too, just because of like, you never know when like that high gust of wind is gonna like pick up, or like maybe somebody's gonna push
I would
you.
probably think something like that too, and those are all totally irrational. Like the wind is not gonna blow you over a chest high railing. It just ain't gonna happen.
I don't know, man.
How high are you?
A fucking
and I don't mean
wind. What if there was a microburst, bro? There's gusts of winds that blow up and rip down trees, and
but they're still like part of storms. You know, there's a storm coming.
No, microburst requires no storm, dude.
Listen, I will tell you all about microbursts when they destroyed Kennywood and someone died, and I know all about microbursts.
We have an expert, folks, and I apologize.
I remember that because Kennywood is an amusement park.
Meteorologist
3 miles from my house. I was supposed to have a baseball game. It got canceled because of this storm, and then all of a sudden it was a fucking microburst, and it knocked down a ride at Kennywood, and the ride fell on someone and decapitated them. It was a big fucking deal. It was the whip.
Fuck amusement parks, dude. No way am I ever.
Wait, so like it collapsed the. Oh, okay.
Dude, I can't do amusement parks anymore.
It had nothing to do. It was just a building. It was the building that held a ride collapsed. It had nothing to do with being an amusement park.
Me and Sam, like several years ago, I was like, "Yo, what do you want to do for your birthday?" And she's like, "I want to go to Six Flags." I was like, "Chicago or St. Louis?" And she was like, "St. Louis." And I was like, "Good answer, because that's the better one." I was like, "But however, I'm now terrified of roller coasters. Like that same roller coaster that I rode when I was like 8 years old is still there."
Yeah.
So we did like the water rides, which are still dangerous as fuck. Like the big giant raft ones that could flip over. Yes,
no,
dude.
They're not.
Yeah, man. It shouldn't be called. Listen, it shouldn't be called an amusement park. They should just call it for what it is. Fucking danger park.
You were the most paranoid person there is.
I'm just saying, I'm still alive, dude.
So am I.
No, that's fine. That's cool. But the race is on. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna die first.
The race is now on.
I'm definitely gonna die first. My doctor tells me all the time I'm gonna die.
You're right though. I am an extremely paranoid person. Like extremely paranoid person. But like, dude, I used to be the most fearless person when I was younger. Like I won't get on a plane now. Dude, I would have went to the fucking moon at 19.
This conversation would really fit into the trash mob. Okay. John, PDP Impound, who's been here in chat all day and is the homie. Think of some of your favorite exotic weapons. If you could change and make the catalyst yourself, what would it be for those weapons?
I'm sorry, I got totally sidetracked by chat. Say that again.
Wow. Me too.
Right, bro?
Jesus. John would like to know, think of your favorite exotic weapons. If you could change and make the catalyst yourself, what would it be for those weapons? Is there a catalyst for the last word?
Not yet.
Can I make the catalyst that the hipfire does the extra damage that it used to and all that? Remember that? Like OG. That's cool. OG. Yeah. Remember it like boosted range? It boosted like everything. Yeah, that's what I want back.
Let me think about this. So a current weapon that doesn't have.
Well, it said you could change and make the catalyst. So if you think that that one of your favorite exotics has a shitty catalyst, then change it.
Hard Light's catalyst actually gets rid of the earthquake simulator when you pull the trigger.
Did you ever go in an earthquake simulator?
No, dude, that's another thing that terrifies me. I'm just saying, dude.
Earthquakes or earthquake simulators?
I mean, like, why would you want to simulate that?
Because it's cool.
I mean, like, okay, like, so, I mean, is it just a room, obviously, where, like, nothing can fall over and shit? Or is it, like,
the
no,
one
we're
that
gonna simulate this?
we used to have the one at the Science Center in Pittsburgh that was just, like, you, like, got into a booth. It was like you were getting into a booth at a restaurant, but it had walls and was on hydraulics, but it was just the size of, like, the booth with a ceiling and shit on it. It just shook.
I think I'd do it, but I think the whole time I'd know that I'm on a fucking pneumatic box.
Well, no shit. It's not supposed to be a trick. It's just supposed to be, here's what this level earthquake would feel. Here's what it would feel like.
Like, unless you're cranking that bitch up to, like, 6.7, like, there's no suspension
That was, like, the
of
lowest
disbelief
one.
there.
They went up to, like, 9 and 10.
Oh, no shit.
And the whole thing's, like, you have to, like, hold on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just thought maybe it was just kind of like, you know, the little, like, pony ride that you put a fucking quarter
I was just saying, what did you think it was? Like one of those fucking, like, massage chairs at, like, rest stops on the highway.
Yeah, that's an earthquake simulator.
Jesus Christ.
Yo, but for real, fuck earthquakes.
All right. Somehow we were talking about what exotic weapons and their catalyst. You did yours.
Get rid of,
that's right.
Yeah, earthquake catalyst.
Triton.
I know some people didn't like it. It's very divisive, but I would say that the catalyst for Wave Splitter would return it to when it was like stupid annoying, because for whatever during that stretch of when I was trying to do things, that's pretty much what I used all the time. So since I haven't played in X amount of months, I would say the catalyst would return it to whatever that power level was.
Wave Splitter or Prometheus Lens?
Wave Splitter. I didn't play when it was laser tag.
Oh, okay.
So
Wave Shitter was super broken at one time.
Grow up.
No, that's what they should be renamed to
Grow
as
up.
well. Wave Shitter.
Grow up. Lord Dippin' Spit. This is the last one.
Nice.
He says, "All right, just hear me out. Why did Eris need to cut 3 Acolyte eyes and not just 2? She literally cut an extra hole in her head for what might have been an unneeded eye. Oh, and is a hot dog considered a sandwich?"
A hot dog is considered whatever the fuck you want it to be, because again, perception is reality. So if you perceive it to be a sandwich, it is a sandwich.
Are you trying to be the most fucking paranoid hippie on the planet tonight?
This is just me, man. This is me raw.
No, this is like
uncut
extra. Listen,
unfiltered.
Wilson, this is like extra. You're being extra. You're being very extra tonight.
I get told that all. That's not the first time today I've been told that, actually.
Like, I know your conspiracies. I know your all your.
But it's
like
true.
extra tonight. Every answer. I asked you what's your favorite catalyst on a fucking weapon, and you turned it into earthquake simulators.
I mean, but it is though, right? Have you shot that gun lately? It's like easily a 9.5.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, hot dog can totally be a sandwich if you choose it to be. And then what was the first part of the question?
Oh, it was just Eris cut 3 holes in her head for 3 Acolyte eyes, but like, why?
I mean, fuck it, dude. If I could take an extra eye and put one in for safekeeping, why not? You never know when those are gonna get poked out again.
It's fair.
Yeah, and like, if I'm not mistaken, like, she was like really into it. Like, had to become the hive to hide from them.
Are you gonna kink shame her?
No, absolutely not, dude. I'm down with the Erismorn movement.
I'm down with the fucking hive.
I'm down with the hive. No, but I think like from a lore perspective, I think they touched on like not necessarily why she took 3 eyes instead of 2, but she had to like blend in down there, and like with no ghosts, she just like couldn't go rogue and be reckless. So that's the fucked up thing about Eris, dude, is that she's got 1 life left.
You have 1 life.
It's a lot of stress, dude. I'd want a 3rd eye too.
Yeah, and she still does crazy shit. You won't even ride a roller coaster.
Not with Erismorn.
Oh god. I do think I don't see why a hot dog is not a sandwich. It may be a type of sandwich, but if a sandwich is like 2 things like in bread, like then yeah, it's a sandwich. It may be different than other sandwiches, but I mean,
for sure. Yeah, it's just a different form of bread and meat.
Yeah.
And what's usually in a sandwich? Bread and meat.
Yeah.
You have to have those.
I mean, you can put the same things. Now, it may not be the norm, but like I know there's definitely been times that I've taken, like I've had, maybe I ran it because, you know, hot dogs, everything doesn't come like the same amount of meat in the package as buns, so you run out of one or the other, right?
True.
I have very many times made a hot dog and then just toasted some bread, cut the hot dog in half, and put it on there like a fucking sandwich, like a regular sandwich.
Oh, easy.
And it's still the same thing. You can put whatever you want. Like I've had Philly cheesesteak, fucking.
They've
hot
started
dog bun
making.
things.
They've started making hot dogs that fulfill the amount of buns and stuff that you have. Yeah, I think it's Oscar Mayer started throwing down on that.
I'm not a huge hot dog fan in general, but every once in a while, man, a good Oscar Mayer all beef, I will fucking.
It's gotta be all beef, dude.
Oh, it's gotta be all beef.
Yeah, because first of all, we all know the stigma around hot dogs. We're not gonna get into it. But then on top of it, it's like my dad used to fuck with me a lot when I was a kid, and I was like super impressionable, and I'd believe everything that he said, and they were tired of me only wanting hot dogs. Like, what do you want for dinner? Hot dogs. What do you want for hot dogs? My dad's like, there's a recent study that it's like 100% linked to like leukemia. And like, so my dad as a kid told me that I was going to get leukemia from eating too many hot dogs. So then I went into the doctor and got that thing on my back checked out that I thought was skin cancer, and it wasn't. And my dad found the day that I went in there and checked that out, he texted me and he's like, you know, good thing you went in. Peace of mind is a good thing, but it's definitely because you ate too many hot dogs as a kid. Like, he still throws that shit in my face,
That's
dude.
funny.
Yeah, even to this day.
I will, as my final opinion here, say that people who cannot accept a hot dog as a sandwich are people who cannot accept change and innovation. And if people like that led the world, we would not have the leaps in science and everything that we've had. Because I'm sure when a sandwich was first named, it was 2 pieces of regular ass bread with specific things in it. But as things have gradually changed and we've expanded, that's all I'm saying. So if you don't think a hot dog is a sandwich, you are holding planet Earth back.
Here, man.
Wow.
Here, wake the fuck up. To wake up, people, and realize that
Now,
sandwiches can be many different things.
I very much like exaggerated all that, but like I'm kind of serious in that point. Like
No,
I'm
dude,
sure
you're definitely...
I'm sure when a sandwich was named, it was a very specific thing, but they have grown to how they are made, just like many other things grow and change. For Christ's sake, the dictionary now lists the word literally as meaning figuratively. Things can fucking change. Did you know that? That's an official thing now? Literally can now mean the opposite of fucking literally. So what's the point of having that word? That drives me insane.
Dude, I'm actually with you on this one.
That is the stupidest shit ever.
They need to change that shit back and just be like, no, you need to quit like using a word that you don't mean.
I get when
quit
people
using a word that you don't mean.
Yes, when they add words that started as slang and stuff, I get that but just because someone uses a word incorrect, like a culture uses the word incorrectly for years, doesn't mean it just all of a sudden is right. It's the same thing. Are they going to change the word ignorant to mean rude? Yeah, maybe they already did. I don't know.
True. Maybe some people just already assume that, but
well, that's the thing.
Yeah. No, I 100%, bro.
Yes.
What's up?
God damn it. Informal, discourteous, or rude. Fuck this shit. Fuck this.
It's already happening, dude.
All these hot dog aren't a sandwich people are just ruining everything.
That's what I'm saying. They're changing the dictionary. They're holding us back. We would have never gotten a Tesla in space if we would have been not calling hot dog sandwiches.
Exactly. If you can't get with change, just get out of my life. Literally get out of my life.
Boom. Where do you go from there, boys? There it is.
Well, first we go to Triton's answer, and then we can leave.
Well, I mean, is there really an answer now after... I mean, it is. A hot dog is a sandwich. But, I mean, when you say you're going to go get sandwich, I mean, most people don't think that also means hot dog. You probably just tell people, oh, let's go get some hot dogs, I guess. But it doesn't mean it's not a sandwich, so...
Right.
That's a good point.
No, I mean, like...
That's a good point.
It may not be the first thing you think of, but if we're going to talk about, like, the definition, like... I still think it is a type of sandwich.
I think by definition, it's a type of sandwich. You just say, like, oh, I'm going to go get burgers. That's a sandwich, right? But you just say, like, burgers. Or same with hot dogs.
Yeah.
Both are sandwiches. But
burger's still a burger, even if it doesn't have buns on it, you know?
Yeah. A hamburger is the fucking piece of meat for the most part.
Yeah. Dude, settled, dude. Etch it in stone. Like right now?
All right. So that's all I got. I think that was a pretty. I think we redeemed ourselves. Maybe everyone else liked it, but I thought I ran a shitty episode until the end, and now I feel good about my hot dog speech. I think that shit, Lego, make that our video. When me telling the world.
Title,
No, not even the title.
Hot
Just
dogs are a sandwich.
how he puts the clip with the episode tweet. Yeah, I don't know. You haven't been
Hot
here
dogs or sandwiches?
2.5 years.
Yeah, I know. I haven't been here in a while, so. I will blindly retweet it though, just so you know. That'll make you feel better.
You will blindly retweet.
I will.
Anyway,
even if I don't listen it.
So welcome back, Triton. Maybe you should play the game a little bit.
Still plays it more than mana.
It's true. But anyway, we'll be back next week. We have we're gonna hopefully in the near future do an About Us episode again, since we haven't done one in a while and the lineup's kind of in flux. Just kind of, for new people showing up for Shadowkeep or new people who've been here for a little bit, just to get that out there. Make sure to join the Discord. We have a lot of fun there, and you can keep up to date with things. What else? You can find more about Team Resolute on Twitter at Team Resolute, and also you can find more about RezoCast on Twitter at RezoCast. You can find us. The episodes will be up on Google Play, iTunes, YouTube, all your favorite podcast places. Search it, you can find it. And I'm Hove. You can find me here on twitch.tv/Hove76. Streaming every once in a while. Twitter at Hove76. Anywhere Hove76, that's going to be me. Wilson, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ryu Wilson, and you can also find me being terrified and paranoid of everything. Triton, what about you?
You can find me mainly on Twitter, Triton Please, all one word, the please being P.
Nice.
Triton Plus. And finally, even though we did do this at the beginning, I wanted to get that out there. I do want to say one more time thank you to Blue Mics and Headphones for all the awesome shit. And actually, check our Twitter and their Twitter. On the 17th, they're teasing something big. They said they have a little video. It says we're creating a monster again, and they're coming out with a new product. And in all honesty, we were only teased it as well. I don't know what it is, but it's probably gonna be pretty sweet. They bring out a lot of really good shit. In all seriousness, we all had blue stuff before we were sponsored. It's good shit.
Yep.
So,
True.
on that note, we'll catch up with you guys later. Thanks for hanging out, and I guess I have to say GG because Lego's not here. So, till next week.
GG's.
Fuck that
Fuck.
shit.
And fuck spiders.